Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'd like to share with you blocks of 3 poems that are toward the end of the Down in the Dirt May to August 2022 issue collection book, The Final Frontier. 3 poems, I said count them 3. They are 3 poems that appear not only, I've got the page open, not only in that book, but also in the cyberwit.net Janet Kuypers poetry book, Shattering the Glass Ceiling, released during Women's History Month. And I hoped you would appreciate these poems. The reason why I'm sharing them with you is because in both of these books, these poems exist not only in English, but also in, get a load of this, drumroll please, Farsi. I had an Iranian friend help translate some of these poems, which would be perfect for it. This first one is titled Man Calls a Woman. A Man Calls a Woman, and I'm going to show it to you here really big. It's not quite, easily readable, and it is right justified. It's perfect on the pages that way, but I can't say it, so you'll have to read it for yourself, either online or in these books. This is called A Man Calls a Woman. It starts with a quote from Bob Lamb. The translation in Farsi does not have the quote, but the quote is that every time a man calls a woman a bitch, the threat of rape lies behind his hostility. Every time a man calls a woman a witch, he reminds her of the slaughter of millions whose independence and medical knowledge threatened male dominance. Every time a man makes a joke about rape or wife beating, he issues a warning to women. That was a quote from Bob Lamb from an essay in 1976. And here's the poem. Every time a man calls a woman a babe, he tells her he thinks of her as a child. Every time a man calls a woman a fox, he tells her she's to be treated like an animal. Every time a man calls a woman a honey, he tells her she is meant to be consumed. Every time a man calls a woman a doll, he tells her she is something to be played with. Every time a man calls a woman a bag, he tells her she's something to be used. Every time a man calls a woman a slit, he tells her she's a body part, not a whole. Every time a man calls a woman a screw, all he's saying is what he'd do to her. Every time a man calls a woman a girl, he tells her she can't think like an adult. Every time a man calls a woman a whore, he tells her she is wrong for having sex. Every time a man calls a woman a lay, he tells her she's no gutter on her feet. Every time a man calls a woman anything less than a woman, he tells her who's the boss. So, yes, we all know who the boss is, boys. You've done such a good job of telling us. The next of 3 poems that are in this Down in the Dirt book, The Final Frontier, as well as the cyberwit.net book, Shattering the Glass Ceiling, is a book that is titled, or a poem that is titled, In Their Homes or in the Streets. Both of them have translations in Farsi. I'm going to show off the Farsi translation for In Their Homes or in the Streets for you right there. I know you can't see it. You can see it online if you look it up, or if you order either one of these books. This is In the Homes or in the Streets. Some women are raped in their homes or in the streets by men whom we call strangers. Some women are raped in their homes or in the streets by men we call psychiatrists, doctors, college professors, friends, lovers, husbands, and fathers. And some women are raped in their streets or in the offices by men who merely sit there and commit rape with looks, with smirks, with insults, with threats. That's a quote from Bob Lamb to start the poem. You'll never understand. Have you ever felt like everything you did, from the clothes you chose to wear, to the way you styled your hair, to the way you walked on the street, to the way you sat at your desk, or whether you looked at people as they passed you in the grocery store or when you picked up food for the family? Have you ever felt that everything you did was under the scrutiny of half the world? That a stare could haunt you if you looked too confident, or your eyes wandered for too long and actually caught someone's gaze, or your skirt was too short, or you didn't cross your legs, or if you ate a banana, or if you happened to lick your lips? Have you felt it? Well, you're not a woman. The last one I'm going to share with you in this series is a poem that is titled The Men at the Construction Site. It doesn't have a quote. It is in this book, The Final Frontier, from Down in the Dirt, an issue collection book of May to August 2022 issues. It is also in the cyberwit.net book, Shattering the Glass Ceiling. And this is the last poem I'm going to read in this series for you in honor of community poetry. It is a poem that exists in both of these books in both Farsi and English. This is the Farsi version. Hard to be able to tell, but there it is. This is a poem that's called The Men at the Construction Site. A woman told me that scientists did an experiment where a woman walked past a construction site with her head down. No one bothered her. No one noticed her. Everyone at the site left her alone. Then, later in the day, she walked past again, in the same outfit, with the same stride. But this time, she walked with her head up, more confidently. And that's when she got the calls, the whistles, from the men at the construction site. And you tell me it's not deliberate. And you tell me it's not an effort to keep women in their place. There are fascinating poems in the back of both of these books, and I enjoy sharing them with you in honor of community poetry. A Tom Woodruff open mic that was in the north side of Austin on the first Wednesday of every month, which is what these readings are in honor of. I hope everyone is staying safe. I'm keeping the creative spirit alive with these readings. I hope everyone is staying creatively inclined, safe. I hope everyone is enjoying the holiday season, and I look forward to hearing from each and every one of you very, very soon. Thank you all so very much. Thanks.